Oh hi, it's around midday on Saturday the 25th of May. If you recall, or if you watch the videos, been following the videos, this time last week, exactly last week, I'd had a sleepless night as the Harawake and Benikikikiryu had spawned. I was a little bit uncertain, unsure, slightly apprehensive about where we were at with that spawning. The number of eggs that had been laid, I could see, was pretty small, incredibly small. And as I mentioned at the time, I think some eggs had clumped up on the spawning ropes, and generally that would mean that they're likely to go bad. Then later on in the week, some of those clumped up eggs came up to the surface, and I could see the eyes were developing. That was probably on Monday, Tuesday, I think, as I recall. That was on another video that we posted, the last video that we posted. Well, on Wednesday, the fry started hatching in the tank. And at that point in time, really, I had no idea where we're at numbers-wise. We made contingency for the fact that a second spawning was going to take place. Probably the large female, which was the original parent that we tried to use. She's back with the other females in the main pond on her own. There's no males in there anymore. The males are in a separate pool where they'll stay until what I'm hoping to do is the second spawning still in the middle of June. But that's by the by. So the eggs started hatching on Wednesday, but I still really wasn't sure what sort of numbers we were looking at. But through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, until today, the numbers that we see in the tank just increasing and increase and increase. I'm not going to suggest by any stretch of the imaginations it's now a massive spawning, but it's certainly more pleasing than it was. We'll take a look in the tank now. You can have an idea of what they're looking at, and then what I'll do is I'll pick some out into a separate little bowl so we can see them in real close up.
So as you can see quite clearly, swinging through the spawning brushes, the tiny baby fry. I've got to be honest, I was thinking maybe we get a few hundred. Then I started to be more optimistic once they started hatching and thinking, you know, we may have 1,000, and I think, to be honest, there's probably several thousand in here now. This seemed very typical of what you can see throughout the tank where the spawning brushes are, and indeed in open water. It's just easier to focus and hold a shot in the brushes than it is in the open water. These fish now are getting fed fairly constant stream of food, to be honest. Every time they come in here they get a little bit. This is one of the foods they're getting fed. Tiny fry food, marketed here by zmsystems.co.uk. Food 80 to 200 microns, so designed as a starter food for small fish. It says smallest particle size similar to Infusoria and smaller than brine shrimp, and that is their second food that they're getting. So this dry food, every time I come in the tank, so it probably works out about every hour or so, they get a tiny pinch of this dropped into the tank. And then 3 times a day they get the contents of one of these bottles, these just cut down soft drink bottles, with some brine shrimp eggs which hatch into tiny baby brine shrimp. There's 1.5 litres of water in each one, and then 2 teaspoons of brine shrimp eggs. I've got to be honest, it's rather arduous and time consuming. I think I really should need to look at getting something more proper, should say, in terms of hatching bottles, where it'd be easier to separate the eggshells from the baby shrimps. And I'm not sure the hatch rate in this tank in here at the moment is particularly high, but hey, we're getting some baby brine shrimp, so that's the main thing. When the baby brine shrimp go into the tank, you can see the fry get very agitated and start darting around as they're chasing what become invisible to me pieces of food in the tank. But it's very evident that when those baby brine shrimp come in, or indeed the dry powdered food, they feed pretty heavily. So this is the powdered food, very, very tiny, fine powder. Drop a little bit on the surface, and then you can possibly see straight away fry reacting to that and coming up to feed on it. There you see. So they get a little pinch every hour, maybe a little bit more than that during the course of the day, and I get up during the night to give them some food. Once during the middle of the night. So here we can see the tiny fry in this bowl, and this bowl is probably, I don't know, 3.5 inches across, 75 millimeters. Gives you an idea of the tiny size of the fry. As you can see, there's black fry and there's white fry. Very similar to what you would see from a shower spawning. Komon-ryu is obviously a black based fish, and there is Komon-ryu blood in the Benikiko Kuryu. And indeed, if you read about Aokiya, he actually does Kuroko selection. Kuroko selection is selecting the black babies and just keeping the black babies and discarding the white ones, which is exactly what Showa breeders would do, Shiratsuri breeders and Komon-ryu breeders. I have no intention of getting involved in doing that, and at this stage everything be raised. What it would be lovely to do, I think, would be to separate them out and grow them all on, just to see how the two different types develop, but unfortunately that's not something you have space to do at this stage. But there we are. So this was just a quick tiny net full, just in one corner, just with the smallest culling that I have. So pleasing, and they're looking well and swimming strongly. So going to get these back in the tank, get some more food in there. So all in all, pretty happy really. The weeks kind of just got better from this time last week, where I was tired and had a sleepless night. Was happy the fish had spawned, but then was a little bit despondent that there weren't going to be many eggs, and then more so less fry. And as I say, through the course of the last 3 days, the number of fry I think we have, and the quality of the fry, the health of the fry, is just getting better all the time. They're growing nicely. Obviously some growing better than others, but that's the reason there's so many fry in the first place. Naturally they produce so many fry because the rate of attrition is so high. So I'll keep you updated as they're growing, but all things being well, all things are well here, I should say. I'm very happy with where we are.